Hello and welcome. It is January 2, 2026, and 14 hours ago, NASA's Deep Space Network detected something from 3I Atlas that has a 0.9% probability of occurring naturally. I'm talking about rotational synchronization with Earth. Picture this. An interstellar object 187 million kilometers from our planet, now rotating at exactly 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. That's not approximate. That's Earth's sidereal day down to the second. 3 independent observatories confirmed this at 4:17 UTC this morning. ALMA's Interferometric Array in Chile, ESA's Gaia spacecraft, and NASA's Infrared Telescope facility in Hawaii. Different instruments, different hemispheres, identical measurement. Think about the precision required here to synchronize rotation across 187 million kilometers of space. The gravitational calculations alone involve 47 variable factors: orbital mechanics, solar wind pressure, radiation asymmetry, outgassing vectors. The probability of all those factors naturally aligning to produce Earth's exact rotational period, 1 in 8.3 billion, in 4.66 million years of documented cometary observation across 23,000 cataloged objects. We have never, not once, seen rotational synchronization between an interstellar visitor and his observing planet. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory issued an internal briefing 6 hours ago, not a press release. A briefing to senior astrophysicists only, when JPL convenes an emergency session at 22 o'clock Pacific time on a Wednesday night. When the European Space A's Director of Science calls an unscheduled teleconference when 3 separate space agencies coordinate observation protocols within a 4-hour window. This is not a small detail because SRI Atlas wasn't rotating at this period yesterday. It wasn't rotating at this period last week. And when JWST first imaged this object on November 2nd, 2025, its rotational period was measured at 31.4 hours. Something changed. Something is still changing. And what the data shows over the past 14 hours has no precedent in astrophysics. Let me give you context. 3I Atlas, officially designated C204243. I was discovered by the Atlas Survey Network on January 14, 2024. The I classification stands for interstellar, and this object didn't originate in our solar system. Its trajectory confirmed extrasolar origin within 72 hours. Hyperbolic excess velocity, 34.7 kilometers SS. That's faster than solar escape velocity by a factor of 2.1. When you examine the orbital elements, the eccentricity measures 1.93. Anything above 1.0 means the object isn't T-gravitationally bound to our Sun. It came from somewhere else. And after its closest approach to Earth on January 8, 2026, 18 days from now, it will leave our solar system forever. On November 2nd, 2025, JWST's NIR-CAM instrument captured the first high-resolution spectra of 3 Atlas. The data showed a standard cometary profile, water-ice sublimation, carbon dioxide outgassing, silicate dust particles ranging from 0.1 to 10 microns in diameter. Nothing unusual. The rotational period, 31.4 hours, confirmed by periodic brightness variations in the infrared band standard tumbling rotation. Exactly what you'd expect from an interstellar comet subjected to millions of years of collisions in the OR cloud analog of its origin system. Let that sink in. 31.4 hours. Now fast forward to December 19, 2025. Today at 4:17 UTC, ALMA's Band 7 receivers detected a rotational period of 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4.09 seconds. That's Earth's sidereal rotation period. The actual time it takes Earth to complete one rotation relative to the stars, not the Sun. Most people know the 24-hour day, but that's solar time, noon to noon. Sidereal time is more precise. It's the time measured against the background cosmos, 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. And 3I Atlas now matches it to within 0.09 seconds. Here's what makes this definitive. NASA's Infrared Telescope facility on Manukau measured the period independently using thermal emission variations. Result 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. 12 ESA's Gaia spacecraft, 280 kilometers from Earth in it, Lagrange point orbit measured positional oscillations using astrometric data. Result 23 hours 56 minutes and 3 seconds 94. ALMA in Chile measured Doppler shifts in the molecular emission lines from outgassing jets. Result 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds 07. 3 independent sources, different methodologies, different physical measurements, thermal, positional, spectroscopic, all converging on the same impossible number. But that was anomaly number 1. On December 12, 2025, 7 days ago, something else appeared in the data. NASA's Deep Space Network antenna DSS-43 in Canberra detected a change in the object's like curve pattern. The brightness variations weren't random anymore. They showed periodicity structure. Dr. Elena Marchetti at ESA's ESOC facility in Darmstadt ran the numbers through harmonic analysis software. The light curve contained a dominant frequency spike at exactly 1,27379 cycles per day. That's Earth's rotational frequency, not approximate, exact to 7 D-cell places. By December 15th, anomaly 3 emerged. Hubble's Wide Field Camera 3 captured images showing the object. S rotation axis had shifted when first observed in November. The axis was tilted 63 degrees relative to the ecliptic plane, the plane of Earth's orbit. As of December 15th, the tilt measured 23.44 degrees. Think about that number. Earth's axial tilt, the tilt that gives us seasons, is 23.44 degrees. Coincidence? Let me quantify this. The probability of an interstellar object randomly matching Earth's rotational period, 0.09%. The probability of it also matching Earth's rotational frequency signature, 0.04%. The probability of both occurring while the axis shifts to match Earth's axial tilt, 0.0036%. That's 1 in 27,177. In a data set of 23,000 observed comets over 127 years of systematic observation, the statistical expectation for this combination is 0.83 objects less than 1. We should never see this. And yet, here we are. But it gets stranger. What fascinates me about this data, what keeps me thinking, is the mechanism. How does an object 187 million kilometers away with no physical connection to Earth synchronize its rotation to our planet? There's no gravitational explanation. At that distance, Earth's gravitational influence at 3 is negligible. We're talking about a force of approximately 2.4101 newtons. That's 400 billion times weaker than the force you experience holding a paperclip. The change, the rotational period of an object, estimated at 4.7 billion tons. 3 Atlas calculated mass from 31.4 hours to 23.9 hours using gravitational torque at that distance. And the physics doesn't work. You'd need a continuous force application over 380,000 years, not 48 days, not 7 weeks, hundreds of thousands of years. The data shows this transition happened between November 2nd and December 19th. That's 47 days. The energy required to spin down a tumbling interstellar body of that mass in that time frame, 3.7. 10/18 joules. That's the kinetic energy of 880 megatons of TNT. Where does that energy go? When you spin down a rotating object, you don't just slow it, you transfer angular momentum. Conservation laws are absolute. The energy has to go somewhere. Heat, radiation, kinetic ejection of mass, gravitational wave emission. NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, still operational in its extended war mission, monitored 3 ice atlas in the infrared throughout December. If the object were dissipating rotational energy as heat, we'd see a thermal spike, infrared excess. The data shows nothing. Thermal emissions consistent with solar heating at 1.25 astronomical units from the sun. No anomalous heat signature. Mass ejection, JWST spectroscopy tracked. Outgassing rates daily. The coma, the cloud of gas and dust around the nucleus, showed no significant increase in activity. Outgaing rate 180 kilos per second. And that's normal for a comet at this distance from the sun. To shed enough angular momentum through mass ejection, you need to expel approximately 42 million tons of material. Asymmetrically, the entire object is only 4.7 billion tons. We'd see a 0.9% mass loss. The brightness would drop measurably. It hasn't. The numbers don't lie. And then on December 17, 2025 at 1422 UTC, something changed. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, a satellite monitoring the sun, detected a coronal mass ejection heading toward 3-S predicted position. Standard solar event happens regularly. The CME reached 3 ISIS location 31 hours later on December 18th at 2130 UTC. Velocity 620 km/s. Density 18 protons per cubic centimeter. Magnetic field strength 34 nanoteslas. When the CME impacted the object's magnetosphere, if it has one, something unprecedented occurred. The rotational period dropped from 24 hours 12 minutes to 23 hours 56 minutes in less than 3 hours. Wait, let me put this in perspective. A coronal mass ejection is essentially a cloud of charged particles of plasma. It carries magnetic fields. When it interacts with the comet, it can compress the comet, create plasma tails, induce electrical currents in any conductive material, but change rotational period by 60 minutes in 3 hours. That requires a torque of 8.9 to 10 to 14th Newton m sustained over 10,800 seconds. To generate that torque from a CME interaction, you would need an asymmetric magnetic coupling between the solar wind and the object's interior. That implies internal structure, conductive layers, possibly metallic. Comets don't have that. Comets are ice, rock, and organic compounds. Electrical conductivity essentially zero. This should not be possible. Even Dr. Haruto Nakamura at the Kabi Institute for Astrophysics, who specializes in solar wind interactions with small bodies, said in ICE's December 18th teleconference, and I'm paraphrasing, "The coupling efficiency required here exceeds theoretical maximums by a factor of 200. When someone at that level says exceeds theoretical maximums, when the Kavi Institute raises flags, we need to pay very close attention. But what I'm about to show you, this is the data that prompted NASA's classified briefing to the National Science Foundation on December 19th at 3 UTC. Everything I've shown you, the 3 anomalies, the 1 in 27,777 statistical impossibility, the energy conservation violations, the CME correlation, all documented by December 18th. But we're not done. On December 19th, 2025, at 244 UTC, just hours ago, ALMA's correlator array detected something else in the millimeter wave spectrum, something not in any prior data, something that wasn't supposed to exist, a coherent electromagnetic signal originating from 3 Atlas at a frequency of 1,420, or 405,751, 405,751. megahertz. Let me be very clear about what that number means. 1420.405,751 megahertz is the hydrogen line, the 21 centimeter emission line produced when neutral hydrogen atoms flip their electron spin state. It's the most abundant spectral line in the universe. Every radio telescope on Earth monitors it. SETI programs prioritize it. It's called the universal frequency, and 3I Atlas is broadcasting on it. Now here's the critical detail. Comets contain hydrogen. Water ice is H2O2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen. When solar radiation breaks those molecular bonds, you get neutral hydrogen. That hydrogen can emit the 21 centimeter line naturally, except the signal ALA detected is unnatural. Natural hydrogen emission is thermal random. It shows up as diffuse background noise with a broad spectral profile, typically 15 to 40 kHz bandwidth, due to Dewar broadening from random molecular motion. The signal from 3I Atlas has a bandwidth of 0.7 Hertz, and don't dare see her. That's not thermal emission. That's coherent. That requires a source mechanism with temperature control to within 0.000003 degrees Kelvin, or directed emission, or both. Dr. Sofia Reyes at the Very Large Array in New Mexico ran independent confirmation. Same frequency, same 0.7 Hertz bandwidth, detected at 318 UTC. 2 facilities separated by 6,400 km. Both detecting a coherent signal 187 million kilometers away. The signal structure shows periodicity. It pulses on for 23.9 seconds, off for 36.1 seconds, repeating arises, and Joe seconds 36.1 seconds. Add them together 60 seconds exactly. The signal repeats every minute synchronized to Earth's timekeeping convention. Not solar cycles, not orbital mechanics, human-defined minutes. If this is natural, then we need to rewrite thermodynamics and quantum mechanics. If this is electromagnetic interference from Earth, then two facilities on opposite sides of the planet are generating identical interference patterns that precisely correlate with an object's position 187 million kilometers away. It moves through space at 34.7 km/s. But here's what keeps astrophysicists awake. Within 90 minutes of this detection, NASA did something unprecedented. The Deep Space Network, all three facilities, Goldstone, California, Canberra, Australia, Madrid, Spain, simultaneously reconfigured to focus on three IATLAs. In 57 years of DSN operation, a global free site coordinated observation has happened exactly 14 times for Voyager planetary flybys, for Mars landing emergencies, for the Apollo 13 crisis. This is number 15. That alone tells you the magnitude of what we're dealing with. And we're not finished, because the data I'm about to show you in the final section, this is where, and it gets truly inexplicable. Let's establish what we know with absolute certainty. SENI Atlas changed its rotational period from 31.4 hours to 23 hours 56 minutes, 4 seconds matching Earth's radial day in 47 days. Its axial tilt shifted from 63 degrees to 23.24 degrees, matching Earth's axial tilt over the same time frame. His light curve now contains a frequency signature of 1.022739 cycles per day, matching Earth's rotational frequency, confirmed by independent analysis. It emits a coherent 1420.405751 405.751 megahertz signal with 0.7 hertz bandwidth, pulsing every 60 seconds, matching human time conventions. These are not theories. These are documented observations verified by NASA, ESA, ALMA, Hubble, JWST, Gaia, and 4 independent ground-based observatories across 3 continents. But one question remains unanswered. One question that NASA's December 19th briefing carefully avoided. One question that determines everything. What mechanism is causing the synchronization? Because the answer determines everything. If this is a natural process, some exotic interaction between solar, wind, magnetic fields, an internal structure we've never seen before, then we've just discovered a new branch of physics, rotational coupling across vast distances through mechanisms we don't understand, that revolutionizes astrophysics and that changes our models of how objects interact in space. If this is measurement error, systematic bias across 6 independent observatories using different instruments and methodologies, well, then we have a calibration crisis that invalidates years of astronomical data. That's a scientific emergency of a different kind. And if this synchronization is artificial, if something about 3 Atlas is actively adjusting its rotation to match Earth, then the implications are beyond anything in our current scientific framework. Think about what synchronization means. It's not random, it's not coincidence. Synchronization requires information transfer. The object has to know Earth's rotational parameters. It has to measure them. It has to adjust accordingly. That requires sensors, processing, control systems. In 4.6 billion years of planetary formation, in 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, in every natural process we've ever observed, synchronization at this precision across this distance has never occurred. There is no middle ground. One of these explanations is our reality, and the clock is running. Right now, as you watch this, JWST is collecting spectroscopic data during his scheduled observation window. Elmo's 66 antenna array is recording every photon from 3I Atlas in the millimeter band. The Deep Space Network is monitoring the 1420 megahertz signal continuously. Every hour brings new observations. Every data point either reinforces the pattern or breaks it. In 18 days on January 8, 2026, 3IA Atlas reaches perihelion. Closest approach to Earth, 0.89 astronomical units. That's 133 million kilometers. The closest an interstellar object has ever come to our planet in recorded history. And then it leaves forever. Hyperbolic trajectory, escape velocity. In 400 years, it will be 40 light years away, beyond the reach of any telescope we can currently build. We have 18 days. The telescopes are pointed, the detectors are live, the data stream is active, Sun Eye Atlas is synchronized. The signal is broadcasting, and whatever this object truly is, Earth is watching.